Go.
So positive propaganda ended up being one of the most negative things I've ever done. Honestly, a lot of negative things came from that. The project was how I saw it, the way I envisioned it, and the goals I had set. All the goals were failed. Every goal I set failed. The propaganda was the things that I've gotten. They were okay, I guess. The posters came out. There were only 3 posters I received. I personally did not like them. Never got to publish them. They're on the website if you would go to propaganda. Here is the posters. We got, just scroll through them. That's the first poster. That's the second one. I really did not like the font she used. I really hated how it was like you could barely read it. Go again. Like you really had to look hard to understand what it's trying to say. Yeah, that's the last poster. That one was pretty good. But other than that, the posters I thought were mediocre. I was gonna do them myself, but I didn't have the time. This project took, you can go back to home, took an incredible amount of my time. Like this website, it took about like 20 hours to make. I spent 20 hours on the website. I made a PSA, you all saw the PSA last week. That took an incredible amount of time. In fact, I risked my life making that PSA. When I was filming the PSA, I was given ideas on what I should film, and I thought, oh, okay, so I'm gonna film Arlington, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go around the whole neighborhood of Arlington, like from Greenhaven Prison all the way to the Mid-Hudson Bridge in Poughkeepsie. When I went, so they thought you should film the prison. And I
God.
I was like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, everyone knows that. That's a landmark of Poquake, so why not? Gotta have Poquake in there. So I went over to the prison. I kind of went on a hill, took out the camera. I thought, this is not a good idea. Started filming. Not sure what was happening. I just started filming it, you know, it was all usual. Trucks started driving down the road. And then I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna get out of here. So I climbed down the hill. I'm being all casual, walking down the hill. I go to my box, you know, put the camera in, lift it up, and then I see trucks surrounding my car, and I'm just like, great. And so I take my bag, I'm walking towards them, and then they start yelling at me. They're like, hey kid, get over here. I'm like, oh geez, I'm in big trouble now. So I walk over to my car, and these people are freaking out. They're just like, do you know what you're doing? You're trespassing. I'm just like, yeah. And I was just like, great. I was like, so I was already tired as I was, so I was just like, I don't want to deal with this. And then they're just like, oh, we're gonna call the police. We're getting the state police over here. And they're just like, do you realize what's happening right now? We're in a rare occasion where the prisoners are outside of the walls of the prison. So they thought I was there. Like, they thought I was there to bust them out or something. They thought like I was there filming, trying to looking with binoculars, saying them to go or something. That's what they thought, and then they're just like, we had all the sniper teams all pointing guns at you from the watchtower, and we were about to give it a go to give the shots, and I was just like, well, no, I'm just trying to, I was just like, geez, what am I doing? And then just like, I explained to them, yeah, I'll delete all the film of the prison, just you know, I'll do whatever you say. And then they're just like, okay, fine, we'll let you go. And then they're just like, I showed them I delete all the stuff, and they were okay with it. And then they let me go, and I just drove off, and I just went on and filmed all the rest of the stuff for the rest of the day.
So no prison?
Yes, there was no, as you saw, there was no prison in that video. So that was making the PSA. So I learned a lot. I learned don't film prisons. But that was only one experience of it. This whole project had a huge impact. I learned a lot, honestly. I learned that the more negative I became through all the struggles I had, the more negative the propaganda was. I mean, positive propaganda was a test of how positive can I really be. Being positive for an inspirational project you cannot be positive during an inspirational project. At first you're positive, but once you start doing the project, you will realize that it's not positive. You will not be positive at all. You have to really put on a mask, your happy face mask, to show that you're still happy, and you really have to try. You have to be like inhumanely positive to do this project. It was extremely hard. So what happened was during the project was the original goal was to have huge giant posters. I thought it would be awesome, like huge billboards, like on a building. You'd be scrolling down a building. That was like my dream. But I knew that wasn't realistic. But I still tried shooting for something big. It was possible. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna raise money for it, and it's gonna be okay. I talked to Ms. Bellino about it a lot, but in the end, things didn't quite work out with raising the money. And in the end, the school said I couldn't raise the money. So the posters were gonna end up either being a little small piece of paper like this big, hanging around the school. And honestly, when I heard that, that kind of like, that was really disappointing for me. I didn't think that's lame to me. That's not big enough. That's not like impacting people enough. I mean, the Friends of Rachel's sticky notes, that's one thing, but like I feel like nobody even pays attention to those things. I see people ripping those things off the wall, so I thought that's no big deal. So in the end, I thought of the PSA, and I went for the PSA. This whole project was just a huge struggle for me, and even though it came out as a failure, I learned a lot from it, and I think that was, 10 out of 10 would fail again. I mean, it was, I honestly had a great experience doing this project. It was an incredible amount of work. It came to a point in which I was skipping classes to get this done because I have no experience. In the end, I was failing class. And
You can start.
I mean, it's funny, but to me, it was really, honestly, it was extremely stressful for me. I mean, it does sound funny, but I was at points where I thought I might not go to college because I'm dedicating so much of my time to handle my school, handle everything, handle my athletics, and try to do this at the same time because I was so passionate about this project that I was willing to give up so much of my time, and I almost didn't graduate because of it. So, I mean, I don't have a clear message of what to present from all this, but I guess never give up.
So what did you learn? You keep saying that you learned a lot. So what did you learn? What did you take away from this? Were you able to to think about what exactly you learned?
Well, whenever we watched that TED Talk about failure, I felt like that was a huge, that kind of sums it all up.
Mm-hmm.
I will fail a lot, and I know I'm gonna fail a lot more. I'm gonna have a lot more bigger failures than this, and I felt this is definitely, this is how the road to do something great.
Okay. What are you giving up on this, or are you going to continue with this?
I'm gonna continue this.
Good.
My dream was to make this probably a business when I'm in college.
Good.
As a means to make money. I'm gonna try not to. My goal is to try not to work and instead run this, open my own business because I'm majoring in entrepreneurship.
Okay.
So I want to see if I can run this, try to make money off it while being in college at the same time.
That's awesome.
You got a question, or Lesser?
Oh yeah. What's PSA? Or PSA?
A PSA? Public service announcement.
Oh, really? I feel stupid.
You're fine. You're fine.
And the second question is, how are you gonna make money if you're gonna sell the posters?
I don't know.
So you're open for ideas. That's what you're telling
open for
us.
ideas. That's all this project was ever was. It's just open for ideas.
Your passion for the project was amazing, and that's probably what led you to put so much on the line in terms of your project. So your passion for this is admirable. Fewer have I ever seen that had their eyes on the mission, and you never gave up, which is awesome. So there's a testament to yourself and to your fortitude in the sense that you were met with so many roadblocks, as many of you were, but you literally did not give up, and you kept pushing on, which is awesome. And the fact that you want to do this later on in life, I think that this really is something that you could build upon. Yeah, you put 20 hours into your website, but if it's something that you want to continue, that's great then. It's 20 hours that you would have to put in at some point. So That's great. That's awesome. I really like the fact that you want to do this later on. I think that's a perfect use of your skills. So, nice. Are you trying to question? What was that? Seriously. Other questions? Any other questions? Comments? No? Great job, Alex. Oh, yep,
So
sure.
where are you like originally gonna put the things?
Originally they were supposed to go around in Poughkeepsie.
City of Poughkeepsie?
Yeah, city of Poughkeepsie, like on the walls of buildings. It was supposed to it was a beautification and inspiration project. So it was like, imagine like the graffiti murals that they did, like that to make for beautification. Kind of like that, except this is like the form of like propaganda posters. And it was supposed to go around like grocery stores. It was gonna hang around the school. You know, they were gonna be like really big posters that like, not big, but like durable posters that could like be there, that you could really hang up for a very, very long time. So long they don't get stolen or there's no vandalism. I was recently given the idea that, because I'm going to South Africa this summer for a mission trip, someone gave me an idea of what if I did the same thing, except I translate it into foreign languages and make it based off of their culture. So make posters relating to their culture and their struggles, while so I could go international with this.
It's cool. I like that idea.
That's a future idea. That's the future of positive propaganda.
What do you South Africans speak?
They speak like over 40 languages, 42 languages. English is pretty big, but it's not. It's not the big. It's one of the biggest, but it's not like the most widely spoken. Yeah.
Great job. And you actually stop it. And you actually had, like, you had a church that was willing to help you out, but the posters were a lot of, like, how much were the posters when you priced
The
them?
posters,
The large ones.
the large ones were gonna be around $1,600,
Yeah,
but
for one.
the se-
They're expensive, right?
for one.
Wasn't it for one, you said?
Oh, for one, for $1,600 for one? No.
How much was it? Well, then how much was it
That
then?
was like 1,600 would give me like 30 to 50.
Oh.
Really?
Oh, okay.
You know, I don't remember you telling me
How
that.
big were the posters?
They were about 3 feet by 4 feet. So probably like the size of up here to here.
I don't remember you telling me that part.